Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. So we talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm Ernst Jeffrey. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our video. Miami football, they finally got their quarterback. It took a lot of time, and a lot of Miami fans were worrying if they were going to get a high-quality transfer quarterback in the portal. But Cam Ward, he spurned the NFL draft. It looked like he was going off to the NFL. Miami had been pursuing Cam Ward in the portal along with Ohio State and a lot of other programs. But he said recently that he was going to go to the NFL draft despite the fact that there are a lot of good quarterbacks in this draft class. It is a competitive draft class for quarterbacks. That's why you saw Quinn Ewers announce that he's coming back to Texas. That's a smart move. And Cam Ward, I thought he made the wrong decision to go to the NFL draft because I don't believe he's going to get drafted very high, especially with all these other quarterbacks that are going to be drafted higher than him. And even though Cam Ward is a highly talented guy, he's not going to get drafted probably where he wants to get drafted at, and he would not have made an incredible amount on his rookie deal. And that's where NIL comes into play, because I believe Miami was able to land Cam Ward because Cam Ward initially thought that he was going to be able to get a nice rookie contract in the NFL, but now that he was a bit worried about all the quarterbacks in the draft, and probably people were telling him that he was not going to be drafted in the top 3 rounds, Cam Ward realizes that at a school like Miami, he's going to be making a lot of NIL money, and possibly he's going to be able to improve his draft stock even more to be able to go off to the NFL next season. But did Cam Ward make the right decision to go to Miami? Because I believe for Miami, this is a fantastic addition to get Cam Ward. They needed a high-quality transfer, and Miami, to their credit, already brought in the former Albany quarterback Reese Poffenbarger in the portal, but I don't believe that many Miami fans thought that Reese Poffenbarger was going to be able to go out there and lead Miami to a lot of wins next season. He did put up good stats at Albany, but that's at a much smaller school, not even in the FBS, and it's going to be a lot different transitioning up to Miami football, where you're going to be playing much tougher opponents, even though the ACC has been down recently. And I know Cam Ward did go from Incarnate Word to Washington State, and that was at a much smaller school as well, but then when he went out to Washington State, Cam Ward proved that he could be a successful quarterback, because you look at his stats, they did not take that big of a dip when he did go from Incarnate Word to Washington State. Yes, he threw 47 touchdown passes at Incarnate Word 2021, which shows you how much different a smaller school is, where you're able to just sling it all over the field and there's not that many great defenders. But when he went to Washington State, he put up 23 touchdowns and 25 touchdowns in consecutive seasons. You can't ask for much more than that. And then you look at the fact that he did have 8 rushing touchdowns this past season for Washington State as well, in addition to those 25 passing touchdowns. And I know some people said Washington State went a poor 5-7 this past season. Cam Ward's not that great of a quarterback. I disagree. I think he's a very talented guy. Ohio State wouldn't have been at least interested in him in the portal if they did not think that he was a good quarterback. Obviously, Will Howard ended up going to the Ohio State Buckeyes, but Cam Ward is a very good quarterback. So I believe that the Miami Hurricanes made a good decision to get another guy besides Reese Poffenbarger in the portal to help have competition, and more likely it will be Cam Ward's job. But I'm concerned with Miami football's track record lately of quarterback development and whether Cam Ward will be able to improve as a Miami Hurricane. Because if you look at some of the recent quarterbacks that Miami's had, like Tyler Van Dyke, a very talented quarterback that showed a lot of promise early in his career, he faded down the stretch and he ended up transferring out to Wisconsin. Miami also had N'Kosi Perry. He was another guy that had some athleticism, but it did not work out for him. Malik Razier, he was solid enough, but he still made a lot of mistakes and never really grew into anything more than a fairly solid college quarterback. So Miami's track record of quarterback development lately is pretty poor, to be frank. And Cam Ward, a guy that has NFL aspirations, a guy that literally just declared for the draft and he wants to go pro, but realizes that he probably needs to stay in college, get some more NIL money, and keep improving as a quarterback so he can prepare for the draft and be able to get drafted in a higher round. I don't know if Miami's the right school for him, but Cam Ward waited so long on making a decision when he entered the transfer portal from Washington State that a lot of the other schools that maybe were looking at him and possibly would have considered him as their starting quarterback, they already got their guy. Ohio State got their guy. Arkansas got their guy. a lot of schools already filled up their quarterback position with a solid transfer quarterback, and Miami's just been sitting around waiting and looking for a guy that would go to Miami. But I do believe that Miami's track record of quarterback development and it not being where it needs to be for a program with as much talent as Miami has, but they just continue to underperform. I think that's why they've been struggling to get a quarterback. But Cam Ward, he needed to transfer somewhere since he decided that he is not ready for the NFL, which is the right decision. Cam Ward needed to stay in college. He definitely made the right move. But Mario Cristobal, his seat will be hotter than ever before, just like Manny Diaz's was a few years ago at Miami this season, because he needs to be able to go out there and show that he can develop a quarterback and make a team better and be able to make that quarterback better and make the entire team better as a whole. Miami's got a good recruiting class coming in. They've got a lot of talent like they normally do, but they cannot let this go to waste. And Cam Ward, if he can go to Miami and continue to improve on what he showed at Incarnate Word and Washington State and be able to put up even better stats this season and can get drafted at a fairly high level next year in the 2025 draft, then this will look really good for Mario Cristobal and the Miami Hurricanes. If they can win 9 or 10 games next year in the ACC, that would be dramatic improvement for the Hurricanes, and that would look very good for Mario Cristobal and Cam Ward for his decision to go to Miami. But like I said, only time will tell whether this is going to work out for Miami, but I do believe that the Hurricanes, again, made the right decision to get Cam Ward. They desperately needed a quarterback, and they got their guy. NIL did win out at the end of the day, which is why I tweeted out, I guess Cam Ward felt Miami was better than the NFL. He did need to stay in college because he wasn't going to get drafted too high, but NIL definitely helped out the Miami Hurricanes get Cam Ward. But Cam Ward is making a risky decision going to Miami with their track record of quarterback development lately. They've got a lot of talent down there in Coral Gables, but Mario Cristobal's got to be able to assemble that together and help develop a quarterback much better than what the Hurricanes did with Tyler Van Dyke, or this will be a poor decision for Cam Ward going to Miami, even though the NIL is great. And he does need to be at a school like Miami that's going to get more attention. That probably will help him out for the NFL as well, since Washington State is no longer a Power 4 school, and they're in a bad situation like Oregon State, where they're going to be playing Mountain West schools. But great move for Miami to add another quarterback in Cam Ward. Fantastic decision by Cam Ward to stay in college football, but only time will tell whether Cam Ward made the right decision to transfer to Miami. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below. Comment down below whether you think that Cam Ward made the right decision to transfer to the Miami Hurricanes and what you think about his decision to stay in college football, and whether you think it was the right or wrong decision, and whether you think that Miami can benefit from Cam Ward's addition and they can have a successful season next year. Follow me on Twitter as well. Link is in the description, and I'll see you next time.